All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Renee Manfrey and my good friend Mark Durel. He's a founder with Brain Restoration Wellness. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming on this morning.
Yes, indeed. Glory to God. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for this time with you. Yes, indeed.
I'm just now realizing I'm on my other computer and we're live on the other computer, so I'm going to turn that volume off.
All right. You got
So
it.
we're streaming live right now from LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and this is just an opportunity where Mark and I have been talking for quite a while, at least about a year, and I'm learning more about his products and his services, and with Brain Restoration Wellness, how he treats clients with infusions, and also he has come up with different other tablets and also vape to really help people with different types of addictions, and I feel in this world we live in, more than ever, I feel a lot of people have addictions. I lost my brother at 61 years old, going on almost 2 years now.
Mhm.
And, again, it was something that we weren't aware of, a little bit of depression, alcoholism, things of that nature. Ever since then, I think I have a friend of mine who lost his son at 24 years old to fentanyl,
Yeah.
just kind of taking different things. So really, this is a subject that hits me home very, very hard. And I really am interested in learning more about what Mark does and helping you, the audience, really understand how these addictions can be solved if you know and you get in touch with the right people. They can help you through it. So, Mark, I appreciate you very much this morning. So, kind of just tell me your story, who you are, and how you got into this. And I know you have an incredible background.
Glory to God. Yeah. So I'm Mark Durel. I'm the owner and founder of Brain Restoration Wellness Center. I've been administering NAD for 14 years now. Um, Back in 2010, I received a 10-day treatment of the coenzyme NAD and transformed my life forever. I suffered from addiction for 39 years. My last 20 years, I was an IV heroin user and owned three of the biggest clubs in the city of New Orleans, where we know the heartbeat of New Orleans is alcohol and drugs. So literally, the money side of that and that lifestyle just had me drawn into something that I couldn't control any longer. I tried every rehab, every detox facility, every hospital. The state of Louisiana would offer a 7-day detox where you'd go in and they would remove the drugs from the system, but there was no restoration. The mind, the mental and the physical was still so sick that there was nothing that stopped the repetitious thought pattern. We call it a craving that drive the one that is addicted due to depletion in the brain. And when the brain
Right.
is depleted, the mental side, it affects the physical. So the overwhelming thought pattern, again, which we call a craving, no matter what I did, could I get rid of it? And I did one 10-day treatment of NAD. It was somewhere around my fourth day when my brain opened up and I knew I would never use a drug or take a drink again. And in that process, again, I owned three clubs in the city. I gave up everything that I owned, even a 20 some odd year relationship that wasn't willing to give up that lifestyle to do what I knew I was called to administer medicine like I do now to help those that are sick and suffering from all type of brain deficiencies.
So how do people so people just found you through this path of I guess passing on your information to others, and people just kind of came to you through referrals, and
So
how did it all kind of start?
it's
You
been
went from a bar owner to administrator. So how you
yeah.
met somebody to kind of guide you into the path, or
So actually, I believe, hey, first and foremost, we're Christians, sold out for Christ. So we believe God makes the path, makes the way for us. But it's been a hard road. Actually, I'm so excited that we're doing what we're doing today with you with this podcast because in 2012, after I got treated, a friend of mine knew Garland Robinette. Garland Robinette was one of the biggest talk show hosts in the state of Louisiana. And I was able to, he did an hour show with me where I believe the total was like 28 minutes we talked. I actually only spoke for 7 minutes about my addictive behavior, how extreme it was at those times. People couldn't imagine. Just so that I could function, I used a minimum of 18 bags of heroin a day. My morning fix was 6 bags. If I didn't have another fix by lunchtime, 6 hours later, I went into extreme withdrawals, projectile vomiting, uncontrollable bowels. And so then I would induce it again at 6 in the evening. So 18 bags of heroin literally just kept me so that I could talk to you here. Anything less than that, I was just viciously, violently sick. And when I gave my testimony on his show, people couldn't imagine that, first and foremost, someone could survive such an addiction, where there are still many all over the world, that this ladder of aggression through opioids and cocaine and crystal meth and all type of other deficiencies, even alcohol, that the pattern gets so aggressive that the more you use, the less their effect it is. So they walk up this ladder that is literally death defying. And that's where I was at. I was able to give a testimony on his radio show. When I said I know it was God, I just gave my testimony of my life, of where I was, what I've been through, and how I got to where I was at. And overnight is how the business was recognized. So yes, it's been 14 years now since I gave that testimony, and it's kind of far and in between in that place. Marketing isn't my gift, though I have tried radio and television. And so the new podcast thing that everybody is doing, and however else it is promoted on social media, is not my gift. That's why I'm just honored to meet you, Renee, and for you to, just give me this moment in time to hopefully be able to express what I know the property and the value of NAD is, and how it can help so many others with brain deficiency, because it does not just target addiction, though it's the forefront of what we do. We've seen so many more just miraculous healings in deficiency of other things that people suffer with brain function.
So when it comes to, and you do two different types. So you do the infusion, to where individuals, they come with you, and I think they stay with you approximately 10 days based off my understanding, and they go through this intravenous infusion. Is that correct?
Yes. So it's given intravenously. And 10 days isn't the only treatment that we do, but those that are suffering deeply from the deficiency in the brain, it's literally at a cellular level, the receptor is severed in the brain. And if we know, we are solid cells, so it's a cellular structure in the brain that is deficient. NAD, or coenzyme 1, just for the record, NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It is this energy source, the life source to every cell in our body. We're solid cells. At the center of the cell is the mitochondria, and that's where the NAD source is that gives life to the cell. So due to depletion, trauma of any sort, it can be as much as a hit in the head with something, or people suffer with migraine headaches, or people deal with depression and memory loss. This is at a cellular level where the cell has been depleted from the energy cycle and the life source, which is NAD. So we give it back intravenously, and the awakening to the brain is just miraculous. The side of the awakening of the brain, we know when the mental is in order, which the brain and the mental side of the structure literally upholds the physical side. When the brain comes back into alignment, then the physical itself can start being restructured. So we do administer NAD in intravenously, and then we have some supplements which we've been having. We, miraculously enough, most of those that are addicted will they won't try anything any longer due to the vicious cycle of withdrawals. So the tablets that we have now, the NAD tablets, that you just showed there, what is the tablets in a vape pen? The tablets themselves, if we give them to someone that's suffering from addiction, and we actually give them to everyone now. Like if someone's coming in for migraine headaches, or they're coming in for memory loss, we do Alzheimer's, or someone that's suffering from Parkinson's disease, we give them the tablets pre. And So when we hook them up intravenously, the brain automatically, instantaneously recognizes the NAD because it's already saturated through the body. But when we give them to those that are suffering from addiction, when they hit the door here, there's no more drugs. So they can use what they want up to the door, but within the treatment, they cannot use anything that is their normalcy. And when we administer the tablets, 3 to 5 days, 3 works, 5 is better. Of the tablets, they go through with minimal to no withdrawal at all. Now, they may look like hell and feel like hell, but the sickness side of the uncontrollable vomiting, the uncontrollable bowels, the hot and cold sweats, the tremors, all that is alleviated, which naturally, when it's easier on them, it's easier on us. And then the vape pen is the latest idea. The generations under us, Renee, are so suffering right now from cigarettes have pretty much just left the planet. So minimal, maybe 1% of people that smoke use cigarettes now. The new thing is vaping. And the generation that is so addicted to vaping, they say it's not even the tar or the nicotine anymore. It's not the whatever else they're using in the vapes. Plenty of them use THC, and you can put any other type of drug in the vape pen, but plenty of them are just addicted to a flavor: strawberry, orange, tangerine. And so we made the tablets are actually tangerine taste, and the vape pen is a vanilla. And so we know that the majority of our blood flow starts in our lungs. And so the vaping side of NAD, the first thing NAD does is cleanses. Then there's a healing process before the restoration and the rejuvenation side of NAD. So when we take people off of cigarettes, we give them the vape pen with the tablets. They take the tablets for about 5 or 6 days. The vaping literally cleanses the lungs of all the tar and the nicotine. And now we see those that are vaping, it's minimizing what they vape, and slowly but surely, you had spoke about a 10-day treatment. They can come in and do 3 days, 5 days, cleanse them from the vape pen, and now they use the NAD pen, just for the awakening side of the brain and doing something healthy for the lungs instead of something destructive.
Let me ask you about this. So I deal with a lot of I have a tugboat. We deal with crew changes for tugboats that are on the rivers.
Yeah.
And these guys, we basically move people. So we move people from here to Arkansas, Kentucky, etc. And majority, I would say 95% of the people who get off these boats, they smoke and they vape.
Yes.
And most of them are vaping more, right? So they always ask me, "Hey, can I vape in your truck?" And usually I tell them no, but then if it doesn't smell too bad, just open the window, blow the crap out, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I keep on telling. I mean, I know it's not good for them, right? I mean, it's a chemical.
Yes.
Much like even though you're not smoking a cigarette, which is one chemical, but you're now smoking this vape, which obviously it's chemical, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Well, whatever they have in the pen, most of it is THC. It's a new way to smoke marijuana. It's a new way to get the tar or the nicotine in the lungs. And it's pretty much, if not just as bad, if not worse than cigarettes are, depending on how much. Strangely enough, I hear people with vaping that were smoking cigarettes and went to vaping literally smoke 3 times more because they can vape anywhere where you cannot just smoke a cigarette anywhere. So now it's night and day. You're in restaurants, you're in restrooms, you're anywhere in hotels, you're on your job, and due to, like you say, if it doesn't have a fragrance, no one smells it. It's just literally a vape that's released into the air. But the destructive side of what it's doing to the lungs is just miraculous. Again, not just for those our age and under, but my heart is for the generations under me, that I wish there was someone like me or like Brain Restoration when I was coming up to say there is a place. There is some hope. After, like I said, I went to 30 different rehabs. I was detoxed medically over 30 times and put myself in the hospital. And it did nothing for the brain that still craved the drug. Though it cleansed the drug out of you, the damage that was done to the brain was so massive. The thought pattern, the repetitious thought and the craving is like nothing you've ever dealt with. I would stay away for 2 months or 3 months, but mentally, the drive was just overwhelming. And the NAD cleanses the cellular structure, awakens the brain, and the craving and the repetitious thought pattern is gone. So the people that are vaping right now, you can tell them, you take their vape pen away, they're going to steal someone's, like I say, beg, borrow, steal. I have had people tell me, I'll kill somebody before I go through withdrawals. It's that violent when they're coming off of the drug. So the same thing with the vaping. It is straight to the vascular, so therefore straight to the brain. When the brain is addicted and damaged, the brain cannot uphold the physical because every day it's trying to rebuild what you're destroying in the lungs. So we're believing that we're going to corner the market on the healing side of vaping instead of the destructive side, because that's what NAD's property does. First, it cleanses. There's a healing process before the restoration, which will literally rejuvenate the damage that has been done to the lungs, to the brain. And again, my hope is that we can get NAD more known. We're seeing a little bit of a trend to it, but its healing property is like nothing the world has ever seen. We're believing that it is going to change the face of the world of how we treat the cellular structure that is damaged.
So I'm going to share with you. So I have a cousin. All right. So my cousin has a group of friends that, we have a lawn care business. So that type of individuals, all they do is smoke. They smoke marijuana, they smoke cigarettes, or they vape. Right.
Yes.
And he has a friend that recently, he got his truck kicked in. Right. So evidently his friend is either on meth or something, but he went around basically kicking in the trucks. Because he was mad at him about, something they whatever reason. Yeah. And then he went to another guy and went to beat him up. And so they wound up beating him up. He went into the rehab for a couple of days. And obviously they can't keep a person if they don't want to stay for a certain amount of days. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct. We know what they suffer with. Again, from me being through it and have dealt with hundreds of people suffering from addiction. Again, this craving. It's not just mental. Imagine anywhere that your blood flows is where what the drug has affected. If we go to the most minimal thing the world wants to think is alcohol, which alcohol is one of the more violent drugs, even next to cigarette smoking, though we want to look at meth and heroin, the new fentanyl as its devastation, and it is as well, but they all hold the same property of destruction to the brain. So when you pull it away from the brain, it's like you eating every day or needing water. You're strangling over needing water. There's this gagging and coughing, and you're not going to get anything to relieve it till you take that drink of water. Literally, as the body is suffering and struggling from it, that is the exact same effect that drugs will have. If you pull the drug from someone, every organ in their body is used to, here's your pancake, eggs, bacon, and milk in the morning, and you take it away from it, and that's your normal routine, which these people do all day, every day. The body itself goes into the convulsions. That's where you see this passing out or these seizures coming to pass. So without an element to restore the damage that is there, I don't know anyone that has successfully quit for any period of time without returning, and they'll tell you the same thing: I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so the NAD, when it restores the brain's function, that repetitious thought is erased. The craving is completely erased, and then now you have this structure which you can start to rebuild your life again.
So, I mean, you have depression, you got anxiety, you got focus, you got all these different addictions, whether it's vaping, you got alcohol, you got cigarettes, you got people who are just addicted to sex, porn, right? See, it's like the world, the more you start really getting deep into it, and nobody really wants to talk about all these things, but that's why I'm doing this show. What your passion, as our passion is your passion. It started out more towards really just helping people in business and in marketing, because everything is changing. And I saw this a few years ago, that the power of video and doing podcasts like this is really the only way that we can really get people to start talking and listening, right?
Yes.
Attention is, I listen to have a bunch of individuals. I have mastermind groups with Gary Vee, things of that nature. And these people have been in the marketing streams for years, and they just saying attention, trying to get people's attention.
Yeah.
And when you and I were talking about, and I ordered a bottle, I back in the years, I've drank, I smoked, I did a little bit of everything because just life, right? And then I got to the point to where I just got tired of the taste. I got tired of the feeling. So I don't drink or smoke. I don't do anything besides drink coffee, water. I feel better now than ever before. Right now it's just really kind of working. So you and I talked about, even though I don't have an addiction, so I ordered the bottle and can't wait to get that. It's where I can start, because I know that there's cloudiness in the mind, right? So as we all get older, there are certain things that are just, so I'm hoping that is based off what you're saying, it helps you with focus and all too. So just average business people or average individuals who are having these depression, anxiety, or power of focus. So you're saying this also helps them through that too?
Oh yeah, positively. So many of people just use the tablets. I wish I could get everyone to come in. The hope is that they would start on the tablets and then see the benefit at its most minimal sense, taking the tablets. Yes, the tablets, there is an awakening in the brain. The bottles have 60 tablets per bottle. So we recommend you take one tablet twice a day, breakfast and lunch. And the awakening in the brain, again, the energy source to every cell in our body is the NAD. So when you take the NAD, the awakening in the mind, the four televisions, I call them, that wake up, is focus, concentration, and your discernment. Your focus and your concentration to literally pinpoint whatever it is that you are trying to accomplish for that day. The energy side of the brain is awakened and literally will move towards focus at whatever you fed it the night before. The discernment, so I say four televisions of focus, concentration, discernment, and memory. The focus and concentration pretty much are like one and the same, that target what you want to accomplish with an energy that literally walks towards it on his own. Many businessmen I deal with in construction that have done 10-day treatments, or 3 days, 5 days, because we do 3 days and 5-day treatments just to cleanse the brain, wake the brain up, and then the tablets uphold the function. And as you want to walk up this ladder of more aggression to the awakening of the brain, the functioning side of the brain, the focus and the concentration show up. The discernment, which is very, very valuable television, because I speak of them as 3 TVs in the front: focus, concentration, and discernment. Your discernment is the recognition between right and wrong, because so easily can we justify doing the wrong when we know that it's even bad to us. Well, I know, 5 cups of coffee and 3 espressos is kind of bad for me, but I needed to wake up and energize and move myself. I said, well, if you took the NAD, it would cleanse the caffeine off of the brain, out of the, and then the normal property of your energy cycle, which is the NAD, would then take over, which brings forth the discernment, which now you say, okay, that much caffeine is dead wrong, I'm not doing it. Where before you justified, hey, I need 6 cups of coffees and 3 espressos. And then the fourth television, which I declare we may need some help with, is the memory. The memory bank wakes up. And so I call that a television in the back, providing there's not too much trauma in your memory bank. Which your memory wakes up is your past. Plenty of people do things today due to their past, like she might or he may be drinking this much coffee and consuming this much caffeine along with cigarettes due to trauma, and it's like their coping mechanism. I say, well, when the brain is functioning properly, it doesn't need tar, nicotine, or caffeine. So why don't you let me, if we can't do a booster, let's start on the tablets. If you're smoking anything, let's start on the tablets and the vape pen, so it can cleanse. Then the restorative property it'll literally take the place of your normal brain function, comes by restoring the cellular structure that is so weak due to we lose our NAD structure. The energy source and the life source in your body is coenzyme 1. It makes your hair grow. It makes your skin shed. It's your liver, your kidneys. We're solid cells. And just over time, I'm 63 this year. And so by the time we're anywhere from 50 to 63 years old, my age, they say we may be running off of 40 to 55% of our regular cellular structure. That's usually like max 55, but people that have been through trauma and lots of shortcomings in their life, the energy source in their cell could be as little as 40%. So when we give it back intravenously or the tablet function, it cleanses that cell, restores and restarts to rejuvenate the life source in that cell. That's why we have so many women that use it for anti-aging. They said, my skin has never felt better. I've lost the fog off of my brain, or off of the, when people speak of this fog outside their eye gate and their peripheral vision. That's one that always goes away. And the property of NAD is so powerful. We barely scratch the surface of what we have been seeing it doing on the healing side of people. Once we remove whatever this damaging habit is, which can just be from memory and trauma that people do things to cope with, that the NAD clearly would take the place of it on a beneficial side instead of a destructive side.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yes. We deal with people, just to touch on a couple of areas that people have never imagined. We've done patients that deal with Parkinson's. You ever see somebody with Parkinson's and the tremors in their heads and their hands literally cannot sit in one place, or start walking across a room and get stuck. Literally, the brain won't tell the feet to move, and you couldn't put a pen in their hand that wouldn't throw it across the room, And we've treated Parkinson's patients, and on their fourth day, like I said, you put a spoon or a pen or something, they couldn't even hold it, and they would sit there and write their name. 95 to 99% of what you see external, the extremities, are completely gone. My new wife, I don't know if anyone knows, I'm newly married, going on 3 months now, 37 years suffered with migraine headaches. She did one 10-day treatment of NAD, and the migraines that were there several times a week, 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times a week, in this place of suffering. When I see my wife just weeping from the pain, literally has taking the migraines away to the place where if she feels one coming, the NAD will suppress it and bring it back down to where she can actually control the property. And migraine headaches are 95% taken away from her. Parkinson's, migraine, blood deficiency. We've had where the vascular was poisoned due to inhaling gas, and where we couldn't even get an IV in the arm. And literally the poison and the damage done to the vascular. When we finally got him through a 10-day treatment, the vascular is completely healed. Again, and the only explanation is that the life source and the energy source in our entire body, every cell, is coenzyme 1, and given back to the body, cleanses, heals, and restores. And just, again, Renee, amazing. If people believe in healing, healing's like nothing we've ever seen before.
That's incredible. I mean, that's how we met. I met Kelly at one of our networking events, and I think we just got on a conversation. And I think that's what she kind of asked me if I would talk to you about. We're doing some marketing and stuff.
Yes. Again,
and so it's incredible. What's that?
So honored to be here with you. Thank you for this.
No, I'm blessed, and I feel it's I'm going through a lot of just changes in my life over the last few years with why am I doing what I'm doing, like you were saying about a calling, and it's just over the course of the years, it's just to the point to where these stories are what people need to hear. People need to hear the facts. They're every day, all my conversations on a daily basis with a variety of different people. Or either they're lost, they have anxiety, they got depression, they have different addictions, or people are telling me about certain, like you're saying about the tremors. I have a good friend of mine he has and he's trembling, and so I don't know. I need to reach out to him. I think he was trying to do something, but I never heard him doing anything with NAD.
Yeah.
So you don't think about these things, and when you look at what you're offering and how you're servicing people. If it's rebuilding the structure, it's rebuilding the stuff that's in our bodies that is restoring. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, again, so we're solid cells, your liver, your kidneys, your skin, your blood, your oxygen. We're solid cellular. And the motor or the life source in that cell is coenzyme 1. So literally, we're waking the cell up and the cell takes off and starts functioning in its proper way. If you can imagine, a motor in your car, if I went outside and took the engine out, or I took 50% of its life source out of it, and you hit the throttle, you're only going to get half of its performance. The same way at the cellular structure of everything in our body. I treated a lady, showed up on our porch one day, and she had 4 to 7% liver function. And the doctor said, "Ma'am, if you don't, you have to stop drinking today, and you have to get help. You need to be on emergency liver transplant," which they did put her on. When I saw the lady, she was just yellow with jaundice. I mean, brown eyes, and she was so sick. And she's like, "Mister, I heard you can help me at a cellular level." They said, "If I don't get a liver, I'm going to die." And we treated this lady and her husband. They both drank wine for 50 something years. They were 65 and 73 years old. And it was all they knew. It was part of them, but it literally killed her liver. And she came in with somewhere between 4 and 7% of liver function. She was on emergency liver transplant. I treated her for 10 days and her husband, and miraculously, neither one of them ever drank again. And when she went back to her doctor, which was like, I think she said 6 to 8 days after the 10-day treatment, and she had 40 some odd percent liver function, which then they took her off of the emergency transplant, which she got a new liver as of today. But the emergency side of having no liver function at all, if you can imagine, in 10 days, added 40% of function to her liver, because the liver, again, is solid cells. So we re-energize the energy source and the life source at a cellular level. The healings that we have seen are absolutely remarkable. Just, if we want to believe in God performing miracles, people tell me it is just a
Morning
miracle.
show.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Someone was knocking on my door.
Oh, no.
So to share, I'm sharing the website where I'm just reading some of the testimonials, right? Some of the testimonials, I fought drug abuse and addiction for 40 years. I was medically detoxified numerous times and was arrested, overdosed, and revived 3 times, attended years of AA and several rehab programs. I even did 3 years of prison time as a result of the addictions. I was very skeptical that NAD treatment could help me. It took me more than a year to finally agree to the treatment. I have been clean and sober for almost 10 years. God bless these people, and God bless this treatment. Yeah. So it's incredible. So that was pretty much your story. And then you have testimonials on there. So I'm putting the website on here so people can go to the website so they can learn more about what you do and how to get in contact with you and understand more. So I mean, when certain individuals come to you, whether through phone call, whether they come through the website, or if they even go to your YouTube channel, I'm going to share on the YouTube channel. You have some testimonials of yourself. Plus, you have I think, a few clients that are going through some testimonials, and you've been doing TikTok.
Yes.
So everything's I believe everything's under your name, Mark Durel.
No, so everything would be under Brain Restoration Wellness Center. BRW, as you see at the top of the screen right there, is now Brain Restoration Wellness. We used to have the center. We took it down. This is a brand new website that you're looking at. It takes a while to promote on Google. So we have went on all the social medias. It's not my forte. I'm the guy that is a spokesman and the administrator of the NAD that, again, after 14 years, I know it inside now. As far as marketing, I'm not very good at. So we got on TikTok. We just getting to where we can open up a TikTok shop, because, again, plenty of people want to try it at a smaller level, which is the tablets and the vape pens. And we're believing that, from what we've talked to, we're trying to make a way to get to these colleges and give out the vape pens on a mass. Say if we could reach 1,000 kids with vaping, and that the vape pen itself would they would see the cleansing side, the beneficial side of vaping, that restores. Imagine now the vape pen is more vital because it goes straight to the lungs, into the vascular, and straight to the brain. So there's a cleansing process of the lungs, and we're believing if we can get to these colleges that they say 85, in some schools 90% of the kids do vape or have tried vaping, and 50% of them are heavily addicted to the vape pen. So we're praying that overnight, due to social media, due to this trend, that we would help the next generation get past something that is so violent. We know without their lungs or destruction to your lungs, you have no oxygen to the brain. The brain isn't functioning properly. The physical starts breaking down. And that's what's happening to these kids. They're like, I have no more energy. I don't want to leave the house. I don't feel like, going to take a walk, much less playing a sport. It's that traumatic to the lung capacity. So again, I thank you for what you're doing here. I'm just praying that this goes forth, because there's so many people in the world that have a gift that needs to be recognized. Like me, it's been my struggle for 14 years to say, my God, I woke up this morning and 10 people died in the streets of Louisiana, and I live here. This is my hometown, and I have something that could have helped them, but literally they know nothing about me. They don't even know that I exist. So I'm praying that programs like your own, where I have been on radio and television, which was an older thing back in 2013 up to 2016, but now the podcast, everyone goes to social media, no one watches television. Right. So this is such a profound. I pray that your show gets pronounced to where there are so many other things that will that'll be beneficial to us in the world here, and there's just not an avenue to show it, Renee. So that's, again, I'm honored to be here and to be a part of what you're doing.
No, I appreciate your coming on, and I look forward to it. And again, the reason I'm doing this show is exactly that everything's changing. And when you look at social media channels are, if you're trying to promote something or if you're trying to market something, it's the most effective way to get people, because that's where they are on all day long. So yes. Even if they're sitting in, yes. Even if they're at work, they can, they're on their social media, right? So, yeah. And so what we're finding is with podcast and with just doing video, kind of like what you're doing, you already started. So I showed some videos that you already currently have on YouTube. You have videos on TikTok. You have social media on your Facebook channel. So you're in the right direction. And that's really what this channel is all about, is bringing people like yourself. And if I can help you with getting your marketing better, eventually starting your own podcast where you can start really sharing it more. So my goal with this is, as I'm bringing you and other guests onto the show, we're basically teaching how you can start doing it on your own in addition to, and it's a couple of different moving parts, but it's taken me a little bit of time. Like I tell everyone, you got to kind of have to do it. So it looks like you're already doing it. So you're way ahead of the game, because a lot of people haven't even started because they're fearing being on video. They're fearing, I don't like the way I sound, and it really comes down to where people just have to get that out of their head and just realize that it's the message. And if you have something that has changed, that could change someone's life, which this video and this podcast, hey, I'm hoping that it's going to go national. Yes. And if it does, it can potentially change people's thought patterns, because I see it on a daily basis with so many people are fighting depression, they're fighting anxiety, they're fighting alcoholism, and the vaping is just an incredible part. And I have certain individuals in my family that were in prison for years, and so we're gonna be having conversations on that, how they transformed their lives and came out, and the things that go on inside of those. So we have so many different things that are on my podcast that I'm very mixed between business, helping people really understand how to start a business, grow a business. And with you, just like the same thing, is just getting this message out so your business can grow and be blessed. And I pray for that, because I feel that this is such a need, but a lot of people just aren't paying attention. They're not focusing. They're not listening, or they're not really saying, this might be something I should try. Like I said with you, I'm trying it because I wanted to try it a few months ago, and I just again focus. I got busy with all my life.
Yeah.
So
that's what helps as well. When someone does it, literally the personal voice that speaks out. So I see this is the website. It doesn't. Not a place on here that actually shows them. Is it if you folk go up on that? Is the website on the bottom of this page? I believe where it says contact. If you scroll that up, is the website down there anywhere?
No, you got the phone number here is 504-913-7767. You're located in Covington and in Mandeville. And the website is up here is NADRehabTherapy.com.
Oh, okay. It doesn't show it on this page here at all that you're showing me. It doesn't show the actual website. But yeah, so that's be the easiest way to get in touch with us. Go to the website and look over the property, and then give us a call for whatever reason whatsoever. Renee is the way through. And I totally appreciate your time today, man. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it. So again, if you wanted more information,
once you try it, that's like the best marketing I've ever had. Once someone uses it, like, oh my God, how have I been living without it? So you're going to have that same effect that you're going to be excited as well.
No, I'm looking forward to it. So if again, let's kind of just share, if you're looking to get in touch with Mark, you can contact him by phone, 504-913-7767. You can go to the website so you can learn more about everything that Mark does, testimonials, information at NADRehabTherapy.com. That's NADRehabTherapy.com. Paul, Mark, I do appreciate it very much. I'm looking forward to where we're going to have a couple more sessions on this, and we'll break it down with some different things.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for your time. Blessed day over you, Renee.
You too.
Yes, sir.